Oh, the world of rugs. It is a deep rabbit hole and it can be pretty confusing, I know. In this video, we're going to talk about just 3 types of rugs that are pretty commonly seen out there when you're doing your shopping. And we're going to talk about the difference between a machine loomed rug, a hand tufted rug, and a hand knotted rug. So let's talk about the 3 key types of rugs that you're seeing when you're out there doing shopping for your project. Now let's face facts. There are even more rug types than I'm going to cover in this video. In this video we're talking about machine loomed and hand tufted and hand knotted, but there are more types. There are flat wovens, sometimes called flat weaves. There are hooked rugs, and there are braided rugs, to name a few. But most commonly, when you're out there shopping, what you're seeing a lot of are the following 3 rugs. So let's dive in. Rug number 1 is a machine loomed rug. Sometimes it's called machine made, sometimes it's called machine loomed. The bottom line is a machine is doing all the heavy lifting. Machine loomed rugs can be in a solid, they can be in a texture, they can be in a pattern. What's important about machine loomed rugs is that they will always land at the lowest cost price. The thing that will determine price in any rug manufacturing type or fabrication type is also the fiber it's made of. Lowest cost manufacturing process, like machine loomed, will always be at the starter level of pricing, but if you do a machine loomed rug in a nylon instead of a wool, nylon is lower cost than wool. So you see how the fiber something's made of also affects the price, not just the manufacturing process. So machine loomed rugs, made on a machine, made fast, made quickly, no skilled labor, boom, they're going to land at the lower cost option in most cases. So here's the second type of rug. It's called hand tufted. Hand tufted rugs, here's an example. It's nice and plush and full looking. This happens to be a pattern, happens to be in a color palette. It can be in any color palette. It can be solid. It can be in a texture. It can be in a pattern like you see. What makes something hand tufted is the manufacturing process or the fabrication process. Unlike machine loomed, hand tufted rugs are made by hand by a skilled craftsperson using something called a tufting gun. And with a tufting gun, the yarn is pierced right through very quickly in a very interesting hand motion, is pierced right through the canvas. And that is done repetitively over and over and over, working across a pattern that has been printed on the rug canvas. It is a lot more time consuming and labor intensive to make a hand tufted rug than a machine made rug. That's why hand tufted rugs are more costly in most cases than a machine-made rug, made of the same fiber if you were doing an apples-to-apples comparison. The thing with hand-tufted rugs that is wonderful, I think, is that it starts to get you into a more bespoke or higher-end quality product at a lower price than you would if you went into the top tier, which is hand-knotted. But, as I said earlier, with hand-tufted rugs, as well as machine-made rugs, it's the fiber that will also determine cost. Is your hand-tufted rug made of a nylon or is it made of a wool? Nylon, less expensive than wool. So if we're thinking about price point, machine-made starts at the bottom rung for price. Mid-tier rung would be your hand-tufted. So let's get into hand-knotted. Hand-knotted is fun and a big conversation, so let's do it. Here's an example of a hand-knotted rug. Really expert eyeballs can look at the back of the rug and be able to tell exactly how many knots per square inch are on that rug. So let's back up. With hand-knotted rugs, you have one craftsperson working across a huge loom, and they are literally tying off individual knots all the way across a loom, left to right, right to left, just working their way across. So what you need to know about cost is that the knots per square inch vary. So if you buy a rug that is 60 knots per square inch, meaning per square inch, 60 knots were individually tied off, that 60 knot rug will be lower cost than something that was 160 knots per square inch. So the amount of knots per square inch in a hand knotted rug will affect the price, but also it affects how delineated the pattern is, how plush and thick the rug feels as well. But with any of the rug types we've talked about, hand knotted, hand tufted, or machine loomed, you have to consider the fabrication process. The faster this fabrication process, the lower the cost on that process, and the fiber it's made of also affects your total cost. So happy shopping on those rugs. Do it with great joy and now with great knowledge.